Hi, my name is Shanelle. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be doing a story time while I do my makeup this morning. So I wanted to tell a story about the time that I crashed my boss's car and I did a hit and run. I don't know why I wanted to tell the story. I know why I wanted to tell it, but I don't think I should be telling it low-key. Like, I don't really know what the limitations is on the hit and run. I'm about to start getting ready. I'm going to do like a natural makeup look. So let's just get into the story. So this was years ago when I didn't even have a license. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 21 actually. That's a fun fact because I'm from Philly, and not that people in Philly don't have a license, but I really just didn't feel the need to get my license because my mom didn't have a car, I didn't have a way to buy a car, and so I wasn't interested, long story short. Cut to, I was working at a job near the University of Penn. And Saturdays, I will work with, instead of the main like supervisor that was like in charge of the whole like campus, I was like working with the weekend supervisor. So he was my boss on the weekends only, and he was young like me. Like, it wasn't as if he was like some older guy or whatever. Like, we were around the same age. He probably was like maybe 2 or 3 years older than me, nothing crazy. And he was just really cool. Like, we would just talk all the time. He would tell me about his problems, his relationships, and all his stuff. And he was messing with all these girls at our job. And my post where I was working at, my shift was one building, and then like my other co-workers worked in different buildings. So because we worked in different buildings, I was the only person here on a Saturday. Like, it's just really chill. So I didn't really have to do anything. My job didn't really require much of me. And we had this morning ritual where we would get breakfast in the morning on Saturdays, and just he would chill with me for a few hours, and then, you know, go back to his supervisor duties and do everything he had to do. But for the most part, we didn't really have that much to do. But I didn't have a car, and I would always walk around the corner to Wawa or something and like go to somewhere close to get food. This particular day, I went to Starbucks, but I always be wanting Starbucks, but Starbucks was a little further down. So most places you could walk. I could have walked to Starbucks, but it was a hike. Like, it wasn't around the corner. It was like 3 blocks or 4 blocks away. This particular day, he come in and he was like, "Oh, like, I got a new car, da da da, blah blah blah." So I'm like, "Oh, cool. What kind of car you got?" He was like, "Pull up the camera or whatever." So I pull up the camera. He had like a candy apple red Dodge Durango. And it was an older car, but it was a cool car to have at the time, especially like we regular, so it was cool. I was like, "Oh, you should let me take your car to go to Starbucks." He like, "You know how to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." He just bought this car probably, I think he said like the day before he came to work, like Friday and then Saturday. And mind you, we just only know each other from work. We don't hang outside of work. We don't like talk outside of work. Like, he's just a cool supervisor. We met at the job. Like, he was just somebody that was cool. I'm like, "Yeah, I got my permit, da 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 da." He like, let me see. So I show him my permit or whatever, and he like, "Alright, bet." And mind you, like, I did know how to drive. Like, I wasn't lying about knowing how to drive. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation in the color Truffle. I wasn't lying about knowing how to drive or whatever. Like, I just hadn't driven in a while. So when you learn how to do something, you have to do it consistently when you're first learning in order for it to be effective, in order for it to be second nature to you. So even though I knew how to drive, I learned how to drive, I hadn't driven in like a good like 2-3 months. It had been a while, like, since I had last driven a car. And the car I learned how to drive, he like, you know how to drive this big car? Da, da, da. It's a Dodge Durango. So it's a pretty big vehicle. I'm like, "Yeah, I learned how to drive a minivan, da 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 da." Like, I'm just talking all this shit, y'all. But I'm like, I know how to drive, so it don't matter. Like, he gives me the keys, I get in the car. When I tell you, Starbucks is literally like 3 blocks down, make a right, and then 1 block up. That's all you gotta do. But where Starbucks was is around the University of Penn. And if you know Philadelphia, it's a pretty busy area. University of Penn is not like most campuses. It's in the smack dab middle of the city. So businesses is shops, is like clothing stores, other restaurants, stuff like that. So it was no parking. So I had to find a parking spot. So I drive like a block up and find a parking spot. I'm scared as hell to park this car. So I'm trying to park the car. And as I'm parking the car, I told you it was 2 parking spots. The guy in front of me in traffic takes the first parking spot. So it was 2 spaces. So it was enough for me to park the car like the big ass Dodge Durango with no problem. But now that this small car in front of me in traffic took the first parking spot, they parked dumb as shit. So now I just gotta squeeze into this parking spot. So now it barely fit. Like, you gotta be a pro to park in this parking spot. Like, I gotta parallel park now. Instead of me just pulling in, I gotta parallel park. So now I gotta back into this parking spot. I know how to parallel park. I know what the idea is. It's one thing to like comprehend how to do something. It's another thing to actually be able to execute. And that was the situation. Like, I knew how to parallel park. I just hadn't ever really did it before. The permit test is just asking you questions. So in theory, I knew how to parallel park, but I had never had to do it. And then I'm in this big ass car, this low ass parking space, and I really just want some Starbucks. Like, I didn't care. So the guy in front of me that pulled in gets out his car and he goes into the CVS. So I'm like, okay. I pulled it behind him, and it's hella busy. When I tell you it's so many people outside, it's traffic. I'm blocked in from traffic on the side of me. So as I pull in, I'm trying to park. I'm blocking traffic trying to pull up and like parallel park into this parking spot. I'm actually using the Black Radiance foundation, powder foundation in the color Rich Mahogany. And I'm just going to use that to bronze my face or whatever. The guy in front of me, he has like a small car, like a convertible kind of shit. And like I said, he went into the CVS. Why I like go to pull out and pull in. And I was getting nervous because it was traffic on the left of me. Like it's a 2-way street. But it's like traffic, it's back-to-back traffic. Like, people is getting irritated with me because I'm taking so long to park the car. And they're getting irritated, so they're beeping their horns. I feel like they will beep their fucking horn. They do not care. They beeping the horns and just like, bitch, go. Like, hurry up and park your car like you holding up traffic, blah, blah, blah. Girl, I ended up pulling up and hitting the car, I hit the brake. I hit the car in front of me, and I hit the brake so hard, like it hit that car and made the car hit the car in front of him, and that car hit the car in front of him. And the reason why I know that is because there were people sitting 4 or 3 cars up, and they felt the hit. And I'm like, fuck. So I try to hurry up and back up, and then I back into the car behind me. But these is not like hard hits, but they're hard enough where it damaged my boss's car and not these cars. I don't know. The way like it did it just damaged my boss's car. So I'm like, oh shit, like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. So I get out the car and I run around the side. So there's people coming out of the CVS, out of Starbucks, like they looking around like, what the fuck, did she just hit that car? Like, it wasn't that obvious that I hit the car. Like I said, because I hit the car so hard in front of me, their car didn't really get a lot of damage. It was the cars in front of them that felt the impact. Like, it made them jerk a little bit. It wasn't really that serious. So I'm like, oh shit, like I really just hit this car. Like, I'm scared as hell now. So I'm like, what I'm gonna do? I don't have no license. This not my car. Like, thank God the person not in their car. So why this little old couple get out the car 3 cars up, and they run back like, oh my god, are you okay? Da, 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just trying to park. Da, 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 da. They're like, well, whose car is this? I'm like, I don't know. I think he went in the store. So like this is my first experience, so I'm like really scared, and I really did feel bad. So the people like, oh, like what's your name, da 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 da, like we gonna leave a note for the guy. So I'm like, alright, whatever. So they go get back in their car, and now I'm like sweating bricks. Mind you, I'm supposed to be at work. I had just started my shift. I clocked in and everything. Like I'm supposed to be at work. I'm not even supposed to be really leaving the site. Like, and I've been going long as hell by this time. So I called my boss. I called my supervisor on the phone, like, yo. He's like, what? What's up? I'm like, yo, like, I just got in an accident. He like, what? I'm like, I just got in an accident. He like, pull off. I'm like, what? He like, pull off. I'm like, I can't pull off. Like, I hit somebody in the car. He like, where the person at? I'm like, I don't know. Like, they wasn't in their car. He like, leave. I'm like, I can't leave. He like, leave. My heart is fucking racing. I'm like, what you mean leave? Like, I can't do that. That's a hit and run. Obviously, bitch. He like this. He's like, I don't have a license. I know. He say, I don't have insurance. I can't pay for this shit. Leave. He like, fucking leave. I'm like, no, the people, they done took a picture of the license. I'm like, I can't leave. Like, I'm stuck. I'm paralyzed in fear. My boss had to fucking leave the job, run to like where I was, which was blocks away, and near University of St. Penn. Those blocks, they not like regular city, like neighborhood blocks. They like city downtown blocks. Some blocks far as hell. He ran from 36 and Market to, what was that, 33rd and Walnut to where I was. And he came and he seen me still. Mind you, I'm still in traffic. Like, this is the parking space here. This is the guy. This is the people behind me and whatever. And I'm right here, double parked, like trying to get in the space. So I'm like slanted halfway in and halfway out, blocking traffic here. So people are pulling around me. I got the hazards on. Child, he ran all the way from our job to where I was, and he was like, move. He was like, anybody came out? I'm like, no. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. He like, and he get in the car, and he like, I get in the passenger seat, and he just pull off. He peel. Mind you, this is a bright red Dodge Durango. If you know what a Dodge Durango look like, it's very obvious. It's a very obvious car. The guy never came out of CPS, and the lady who like came back to see if I was okay, that couple, they like never came back from their car. But as we were pulling off, I see the couple like, oh my gosh, she's leaving, like being Joe. But they had already took a picture of like his license plate or whatever. So so we pulled back to the job or whatever. He like, Shanelle, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, I can't believe it either. I'm so sorry. Like, I swear it was an accident. Child, he was not trying to hear that shit. He just leave. Like, he just leave the site. He just leave my post. We were security, so he parked his car like somewhere where like it wasn't in the open or whatever. So he just like, oh my god, like this was my girlfriend co-signed to get this car for me, like, and how the fuck I'm gonna tell her that I let you drive it? She not gonna believe that nothing not going on. Blah, blah, blah. Mind you, his girlfriend works with us, so she's at her post this whole time. Mind you, he didn't tell me this part until this happened. Not that he had to, but yeah. Like, so she's at her post right now, like, while this is all going on. And, like, he just down here with me talking or whatever. Child. This is a long story. Anyway, so, long story short, yeah. That's what I did. I was so scared, like, and so he, like, popped a dent out his car, and, like, I ain't never hear nothing about it, and I have a license, so it didn't affect my driving record. Like a week later, like that next Saturday, he had told me like that he ended up just telling his girl like that somebody, he was parked at our post or whatever, and somebody just hit his car, like, cause the cops never came looking and nothing like that. Like I said, the person who car I hit, the guy, like he had a little car and this Dodge Durango was big as shit, but I don't know what the like aerodynamics, the fucking sciences behind this shit, but my boss's car had a dent and his tail light popped out. But this little ass car that was in front of me, like, it barely had a scratch. Like, it really wasn't even that serious. Like, but it also was hard enough of an impact for the cars in front of him to, like, jerk or whatever, to know that something happened. I don't know how that works, but that's what happened. And none of those people got hurt or anything like that. I wasn't hurt. So it was a fortunate situation where, like, nobody was hurt, nobody had to go to the hospital, and, like, my boss didn't end up having to put out money or anything like that. And I didn't have to put out no money, y'all, because I ain't had no money, so I don't know. Like, oh, he was just like, he just told her that somebody, like, did a hit and run on he told her somebody did a hit and run on him. He never told her, because I don't know, the truth be sounding like a lie. Like, how can you tell your girlfriend, like, oh, this girl that I work with at the job, who really is just cool, but you know that car that you helped me get yesterday, I just randomly let her use it to go get breakfast. What? Like, that sounds ridiculous. Like, I honestly don't know why he let me use his car. Like, I wouldn't let me use my car. I wouldn't let nobody use my fucking car. Deal with the situation. We both could have got fired because, one, I was off post and I had permission to be off post from the supervisor. Then the supervisor had to leave post. Like, we both on camera walking away off the post. Like, mind you, he's covering my post while I'm at breakfast. He had to leave the building empty to come get me from the situation. Like, child, that was a crazy day. Like, it was a mess. I need some new makeup, child. It's not even funny. Let me get this off my lips. I keep checking my brows because I just want to make sure that stuff is coming through. But I am going to do a lip combination. I'm not setting any of this because I don't feel like it. I actually never used this color before. It's actually not bad. And not bad. Put a little on my nose too. Don't ask me why. That's just what I did. Little oomph, little touch of something. Yeah, so I forget what the last thing I said was, but basically, like, the truth would have sounded like a lie. Like, she would have never believed that. She's like, well, what, you messing with her, da 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 da, because why would you do that? Like, that was dumb of him. To be honest, that was his fault. Like, why would you even let me do that? Like, that's on him. But he had hella drama anyway, so I'm glad, like, that situation ain't caused me to be in the middle of some shit that I need to be in the middle of. This is ColourPop's Hennyways by ELLARIE. I'm not sure if they still sell this, but this is a great brown. This is like a great chocolate brown. This is an ultra matte lip from ColourPop and ELLARIE, and it's called Hennyways. And I'm taking that and I'm going to combine it with ColourPop 0.0. This is ColourPop and Kathleen Lights 0.0. This is like a gray undertoned mauve. It's a weird color, but I love this color on me. Combined with the brown. Together they just give you this really effortless looking, like, neutral matte lip, and they're both really moisturizing. So that's my story. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was entertaining. I know it wasn't helpful to anybody, probably not even myself, because I shouldn't be telling the story. But I hope that it was entertaining, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more videos, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.